Why millionaires after 50 choose rent over owning. What if I told you that after age 50, American dream might actually be your biggest financial nightmare? Here's what's crazy. We've been sold this dream that owning your home is the ultimate sign of success. Look, here's something that's going to blow your mind. While most Americans are killing themselves to pay off their mortgage, the wealthiest people in this country are doing the exact opposite. They're choosing to rent. I'm talking about people with millions in the bank who could buy any house they want, yet they're writing rent checks every month. The numbers don't lie. Millionaire households choosing to rent have tripled in just the past few years. These aren't people who can't afford to buy. They're choosing not to because they know something most of us don't. Warren Buffett once said the worst investment you can have is cash. But he also warned about tying up too much money in assets that don't produce income. Today, you're going to discover why the Oracle of Omaha's philosophy points toward a strategy that could completely transform your financial future. I'm going to show you why the wealthy choose flexibility over ownership, how renting can actually protect and grow your wealth, and the hidden costs of homeownership that are silently draining your retirement dreams. If you're ready to challenge everything you've been taught about real estate, hit that subscribe button. And let's dive into the first wealth-building secret the rich don't want you to know. Number 1, the homeownership trap after 50. Here's the painful truth most people discover too late. That house you've been paying off for decades might be the very thing keeping you from true wealth. You think you're building equity, but you're actually building a prison. Let me tell you an ancient story that explains exactly what's happening. There once was a farmer who discovered gold on his land. Excited by his fortune, he spent every penny he had building massive walls around his property to protect his treasure. Year after year, he poured more money into higher walls, better locks, and stronger security. But here's the twist. While he was protecting his gold, the world outside changed. New opportunities arose, better investments appeared, but the farmer couldn't access them because all his money was trapped behind those walls he'd built. Eventually, his neighbors who kept their wealth mobile became far richer than the farmer with his buried treasure. That's exactly what happens to homeowners after 50. Your house becomes those walls, trapping your wealth where it can't grow or adapt to new opportunities. Here's what the real estate industry won't tell you. Property taxes climb 3 to 5% annually. That's compound growth working against you. Insurance premiums jump 21% in just the last 2 years. Major repairs average $15,000 to $30,000, and they're not possibilities. They're guarantees. Your roof will need replacing, your foundation will develop issues, your HVAC will die. Meanwhile, in major cities, owning costs 38% more per month than renting comparable properties. That's like paying for a luxury car payment every month and getting nothing extra in return. The lesson from our farmer? Don't build walls around your wealth. Smart money stays mobile, ready to seize opportunities. The wealthy understand that your house should serve you, not imprison your capital. Calculate what percentage of your total wealth is locked in your home. If it's more than 30%, you might be treasure rich, but opportunity poor. Wealthy people don't build walls around their money. They build bridges to new opportunities. Your home might be your castle, but castles fell out of favor when the world learned to fly. Have you ever calculated how much of your wealth is actually trapped in your home? Drop a wealth check in the comments if this is making you rethink your real estate strategy. Should I continue with the remaining sections? Number 2. The wealthy's secret: capital flexibility. Here's what separates the rich from everyone else. They understand that true wealth isn't what you own, it's what your money can do for you. While most people tie up their life savings in walls and windows, the wealthy keep their capital working around the clock. You know what's shocking? 67% of ultra-high net worth individuals rent their primary residences in major cities. These aren't people who can't afford to buy. They're choosing not to because they value something more precious than ownership: opportunity. Let me share a story from ancient Babylon that shows exactly why this matters. A successful merchant had 2 sons. To the first son, he gave a beautiful palace with gardens and servants, everything a man could want. To the second son, he gave an equal amount of gold coins. The first son lived comfortably in his palace but couldn't leave without losing everything. The second son traveled the world, invested in trade routes, and built relationships with merchants across many lands. 20 years later, the first son still had his palace, but the second son owned trade routes across 3 continents and could afford 10 palaces if he wanted them. The wealthy think like the second son. Take Michael from Denver, net worth over $15 million, yet he rents an $8,500 penthouse. Why? Because he invests the millions he could spend buying and earns enough to cover his rent 3 times over, while keeping his wealth liquid and growing. Here's the math that changes everything. Wealthy renters typically invest their would-be home equity in diversified portfolios, earning 7 to 10% annually. Meanwhile, home appreciation averages just 3 to 4% per year, and that's before taxes, maintenance, and transaction costs. The real power? Geographic flexibility. Wealthy renters can relocate for business opportunities, family needs, or lifestyle changes without the nightmare of selling property. No 6-month listing periods, no staging costs, no realtor commissions, eating 6% of your equity. This week, research what your home equity could earn if invested in a diversified portfolio. Use that number as your opportunity cost calculation. What you're losing by keeping money trapped in walls. Palaces look impressive, but portable wealth builds empires. The smartest money never stays in one place too long. Number 3. Hidden wealth destroyers you never see coming. Here's the brutal truth nobody talks about. Your home after 50 isn't just expensive to maintain, it's actively destroying wealth in ways you never calculated. Every day you own it, it's quietly draining your retirement dreams. Think about the aging process. As you get older, your home gets older too. But here's the killer. Both of you need more expensive care at exactly the same time. Roofing systems fail every 15 to 20 years, $20,000 to $35,000. Plumbing deteriorates after 25 to 30 years, $8,000 to $15,000. And electrical systems need updating every 25 to 40 years, another $10,000 to $20,000. There's an old parable about a man who bought a beautiful horse. Every year the horse needed more expensive care, better feed, medical attention, and new shoes. The man kept paying because he'd already invested so much. Meanwhile, his neighbor rented horses when needed and invested his savings. 20 years later, the horse owner had an old, expensive horse and empty pockets. The renter had a fortune and could afford any horse he wanted. That's your house after 50. The beautiful horse that's eating your retirement. Here's what's really scary. Aging-in-place modifications cost $15,000 to $45,000. Wheelchair ramps, bathroom modifications, stair lifts. They're not luxuries, they're necessities. Renters simply move to accessible properties without massive capital expenditures. The healthcare connection is massive. Medical emergencies require quick access to cash. Homeowners facing health crises must take expensive home equity loans or sell under pressure. Renters maintain liquid assets accessible immediately when health challenges arise. Market risk becomes particularly dangerous after 50. The 2008 crisis destroyed $7 trillion in home equity, with older Americans suffering disproportionate losses. Every year your money is locked in home equity is a year it's not generating the returns you need for a secure retirement. Calculate this right now. If your home equity were invested at 7% returns, it would double every 10 years. That roof repair money? It could become $50,000 in a decade if invested instead of spent. Beautiful horses look impressive in the stable, but smart money rides different horses to different destinations. Your wealth should multiply, not age alongside your property. Number 4. How to make renting your wealth-building strategy. Here's where this gets exciting. You can actually live better while building more wealth by making renting work strategically for you. This isn't about downgrading your lifestyle. It's about upgrading your financial future. Let me tell you about the ancient Persian concept of flowing water versus stagnant pools. Persian merchants knew that water left in one place eventually becomes stagnant and worthless, but flowing water stays fresh and creates fertile valleys wherever it travels. Your money works the same way. The timing strategy is crucial. Sell when housing markets peak, capture maximum equity, and transition to renting while avoiding market tops. Why buy at peak prices when you can sell high and rent? Here's the math that changes everything. Take $500,000 in freed home equity invested conservatively at 6%. That produces $30,000 annually, often enough to cover luxury rent while growing your principal. Many high-end rentals cost $24,000 to $36,000 yearly, meaning your investments cover housing costs while preserving principal. The diversification becomes powerful when you're not house-rich and cash-poor. Index funds for long-term growth, municipal bonds for tax-free income, REITs for real estate exposure without landlord responsibilities, and dividend stocks for regular income streams. Geographic arbitrage becomes possible. Sell in an expensive market, rent in a lower-cost area, and invest the difference. This strategy can reduce living expenses while simultaneously increasing investment capital. Look at Robert and Linda from Phoenix. After retiring at 58, they sold their home and started renting. Last year, Austin near their daughter's new baby. This year, Sarasota near the beach. Next year, they're thinking Santa Fe. They're living their adventure while their investment portfolio grows. Impossible when tied to one property. This week, research luxury rental communities in 3 places you've always wanted to live. Calculate the monthly cost versus your potential investment income from freed equity. Flowing water never grows stagnant, and flowing wealth never stops growing. The Persians built an empire by keeping their resources mobile. You can build your financial empire the same way. You've just discovered what the wealthy have known for years. After 50, the smartest money doesn't sleep in real estate. It works around the clock in investments that grow your freedom instead of limiting it. Here's your bottom line. While everyone else stays trapped in the homeownership hamster wheel, you now have the blueprint to break free. Stop paying property taxes on wealth you can't access. Stop funding repairs on assets that drain your retirement. Stop being house rich and cash poor. If just one insight from today makes you question whether your home is helping or hurting your financial future, make this commitment. Calculate what your home equity could earn if invested this week. That number might shock you into action. Here's what I want you to do right now. Comment liquid wealth if you're ready to stop being a prisoner of your property and start thinking like the wealthy think. Your future self will thank you for making this mental shift today. And if you found this eye-opening, imagine what other wealth-building secrets the rich use that you've never heard about. Let me know in the comments what financial topic you want me to tackle next. Retirement strategies, investment secrets, or tax optimization techniques the wealthy use. Remember, your home should serve your dreams, not chain them to a foundation. The wealthy understand this, and now you do too. Sometimes the smartest investment is the one you don't make in real estate. The choice is yours. Stay trapped or get liquid. Your financial freedom depends on the decision you make today.